So I am going to show you guys the next step in this process, which is going to be to cut out all of your cardboard pieces using the proportional images that you have. If you have a side view, that's going to be your main image that you use to create the armature. Having a back view, a front view, and a side view is very helpful. A lot of you, if you can only find like a front view, that would be fine. If you can find a top-down view or a back view, those can be interchangeable and be very helpful too. So the first thing you are going to want to do is cut out the legs of your armature. So my front and my back legs were cut out, and you can see that the shoulder comes up really high on the animal, and so does this, the hips. You want to make sure you get like the socket, the joint of where the shoulder and the hip meets the body. Okay, so if I were to look at this image, I can see kind of a slight shadow here, and that helps me determine where the shoulder is and then kind of where the hips. Sometimes you do have to guess a tiny bit. Okay, so once I had those cut out, I used the front leg. I'm sorry, this is the front leg. I used the front leg and the back leg, and I traced this one twice on a piece of cardboard, and I also traced this one twice on a piece of cardboard. Anytime you have two of something, so legs, arms, tusk, ears, you have to cut those out separately because you have, when you create your armature, you want it to have two sets. All right. So the side view, once I cut out those legs in cardboard, I had this, and I am going to cut out the body in cardboard. But I want to point something out. You don't simply cut out the space here when you're doing the cardboard. You kind of want to connect the dots where this goes from here to here and this from here to here, because everybody's body is full. If you have negative spaces here, when you go to attach anything, it just doesn't work. So once I cut out the body, this is what I achieved. Okay, I did draw or trace the edge of where the legs fit. Okay, and these are my two front legs, and these are my two back legs. Now, to be able to do this, it's very simple. You are going to get a piece of cardboard, and all of my cardboard is at the front of the room, at the main door, and you can see there's plastic bins, and those are the ones you are going to be using. The recycling is for any pieces that really can't be used anymore. They're all cut up, or you know, they're kind of messy. So you're going to get your cardboard from there, and then over on the countertop on the other side of the room, you will see scrap cardboard that is used for cutting on top of. Okay, this is to protect the tables. So this is the piece of cardboard that I have. That has all the cut-ups. This is my scrap. And then this is a nice piece. Okay, so what I would do is simply put this on here. I'm going to use the cardboard wisely, so I push it up all the way to the edge so that I can fit multiple things on here. So I could fit probably everything that I need on this piece without having to get another piece. Okay, so again, I'm going to trace that body onto here. Move this out of the way. So I'm going to hold that up there, and I'm just going to draw a line around the image carefully. So make sure you're holding down, or you can use tape, which is also laying out on the countertop on the other side. All right. So I'm going to, again, connect this area where there is space, and I'm also going to connect the back area as well. You can kind of just, like I said, connect the dots. All right, sorry, I'm getting there. Because my tail is so skinny, and a lot of you are going to have areas that are really skinny, including the tusk on mine, I am not going to make that with cardboard. I'm actually going to use wire, and when we get to that point, you literally just stick the wire in. You can use your image to determine how long that wire piece needs to be. Okay, so once I have that, I am going to put this underneath, okay? And then I'm going to take an X-Acto knife. X-Acto knives are very sharp. You want to be careful with them. But all I'm going to do is follow my tracing, okay? Sometimes when you cut it, it doesn't puncture all the way through. And you don't want to just like try to go really hard at it. You want to just, okay, make a couple cuts for it to go through. If you pull really hard at it, you're going to have all these jagged edges and it's not going to look nice, okay? So my finished cutout piece I just showed you guys looks like this. All right. And then I have my legs, my front legs and my back legs. The next thing that I want to do is I want to create the depth of the animal. So basically like how chunky, how wide his body is, okay? So the back image can help me determine how wide the hips are. There's other things that it will help me with, but the main thing that we need is the width of the hips. The front image typically will help you determine the width of the shoulders. However, because the elephant has really large ears, it is hard to see where those shoulders meet the top. So I found a really nice top-down view so I could see the width of the shoulders, okay? So all I did was I took a ruler and I measured from here to here, and I got 2.5 inches. Because this from here to here is 2.5, I have to cut it in half, all right? So half of that is 1.25. The reason being is because I have part of the hip on this side and part of the hip on that side, all right? I wouldn't want the whole piece like over here. So once I cut out, I measured 2.5 across, and then I also measured how far this distance is, so from here to here. Once I got those two measurements, basically what happened at that point is I created a box, or a rectangle I should say, that is 2.5 inches wide, and then I made it however long from here to here is, which is about 3 inches. So I made like a box. I used a ruler, okay? I'm just doing this really fast. And that's the size that I need, okay? But no animal has geometric edges. That's kind of silly. So what I did is I rounded out to create the hips and the shoulders. I rounded out all the edges, all right? So what I cut out was more of this oval shape. Once I had that oval shape created, okay, so I'm gonna show you these two shoulder pieces, I cut it in half, all right? So I have my two pieces of cardboard cut in half. And then what I am going to do is one shoulder will be attached to this side and one shoulder will be attached to this side. There should be nothing that goes above the cardboard profile. It should all be contained within. It shouldn't go below either. Now, these slits are used to place my leg inside of, all right? The way that I determined how far this little notch needs to be, like how far up it should go, is by simply using what I did here, all right? And I could see that the top, sorry, this is the shoulder. I could see that the top of the arm hit roughly about up here. So that when I put it on, okay, it goes to the top of the edge where I need it to be. All right. So I would do that for the shoulders, I'd do that for the hips, and for me, I chose to do that for the belly. Some of you may do that, some of you might not, and the reason why I did it is because he is very thick right here. And I wanted to make sure I met that measurement when I start sculpting. Okay, so I cut those two pieces out, and that's what I got. All right, they will go be glued here and be glued here. And by the way, we're just using hot glue. Lastly, for this main armature, I traced the head. Okay, I traced the head shape in cardboard. And all I did was I cut it in half once I traced it in cardboard. Okay, so this is what that looks like. And now I'm going to use this to attach it to the front of the head. All right, so now I'll get my width of the head very easily. Sometimes you have to slant it on its side. Sometimes it's more upright. It just depends, again, on your animal. All right. Lastly, which I don't have cut out yet, I would use the front image for the ears. So I would cut these out, and I would have the cardboard piece. And for attaching those, okay, I can simply just glue it on so it angles a little bit backward, or I can just have it come more out to the side. So that is basically the gist of getting your armature together. Let me just make sure there is nothing else. And, yep, that is it. Let me know if you guys have questions.